Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas. Tonight's exercise is a field test of the Clarus XT21X Pro. I do want to thank Clarus for sending me the light and making this review possible. This is in fact the second Clarus light that has been reviewed on the channel, the first being the XT12 GT Pro. Now that was a thrower. This light has, on the one hand, much higher peak lumen output, however, significantly lower peak candela. So we would expect the XT21X Pro to not have the throw, but illuminate a much wider area. Of course, this is why I like field testing, so we have the chance to make that statement much more specific. There's some things, however, that simply don't change. Excellent fit and finish, very good feel in the hand. It's August in Texas. It's really hot, high 90s outside. My hands are already sweating, and yet I have very good grip because of this aggressive texture. This particular model has the dual tail cap and a side switch. The side switch is raised but flush and well below the raised head area, so not much chance of an accidental activation. However, it's very easy to move your thumb from these grooves right up in this area and feel where you're about to impact the side switch. You can also use the one-way clip as a guide. Comes with a very nice holster. This is very well constructed, not flimsy at all. If you're in law enforcement, you would like it. It will fit your Sam Brown. If you like to carry in a head-up configuration but are worried about possible accidental activation, there's this hemispherical cup area at the bottom. The tail cap area of the light fits snugly into that, and I've really hammered on it. It's not possible to get an accidental activation. You also have the dual outdoor and tactical modes. I've already gone over those and provided some commentary on tactical in my prior review. I know you're anxious to get to field testing, and so I'll simply provide that link and you can review it on your own time. In fact, I suppose most people have already been to the manufacturer's website, looked up some information on the light. What you're really interested in is how does the light perform in realistic conditions. You want to see beam shots, and more beam shots. All right then, you want it, you got it. All right, there's a thunderstorm moving in, so I'm going to get this show started early with kind of a law enforcement vibe. So we're here at the playground area in medium output level. Let's suppose we got a suspicious person call, and we're going to look at a variety of very dynamic outputs at different ranges so that you can compare these outputs at various ranges to your particular potential use cases. Getting good visibility back into those trees there, excess of 25 yards. A little bit of success punching through these photonic barriers, but it's a low candela light, so you're trading off that punch and that throw for a much wider field of view. All right, let's move on. Our suspicious person was UTL, so we're moving deeper in the preserve. I'm on low output now, moving down to the creek area. If you've seen any of my other videos, that's the bridge, and I normally do a static output level test looking off over the creek in that direction. But there's a way to get down to the creek from here, so we're just kind of seeing what we can get out of low. Got to be very careful for copperheads and their good buddy Marvin Moccasin. Thought I heard something down here. So you can see if somebody can make their way down here even with the cell phone light, there is considerable opportunity to hide, and this low output is really getting the job done. It definitely exceeded my expectation. Well, once again, Billy Bad Guy seems to be eluding me, so it's time to move on. Okay, just got an update. I arrived here, hooked back up with my partner. We're at the entrance to the outer loop trail, medium output. Again, good 33 plus yards line of sight. Apparently, single male came out of the outer loop trail here, encountered two hikers right here, had a very small light. He threatened them. The hikers took off in this direction, and they called 911. They were not followed. We ran into nobody on the way in here. So the plan is backup is on the way. We're going to position at least one, if not two officers here by this entrance to the outer loop trail. Don't know if he went back along the trail or if he went along this direction. So this is where we are headed. See if we can squeeze him and get him to move in a predictable manner, and then set a trap. Well, I guess you saw the lightning I was talking about. Thought I saw a small light out in this direction. As we go along that back tree line, when we lose line of sight, that's well over 100 yards, and we're in high output level. So I'm just going to do a quick scan here, move up to the observation tower so we can do a sustained turbo scan and step down test. I'm also going to transition to gloves because there just isn't that much breeze tonight. My hands are really sweating, and even with the aggressive texture, there are cases where I can kind of lose my grip. So I'm going to transition to gloves for the remainder of the exercise. This is our quick look in turbo, over 175 yards maximum line of sight, just over 95 as you get well past that first break in the trees. I can definitely see the tree out there in the far tree line. Of course, I can't get much detail, but there's your first look in turbo. Now let's go do a sustained turbo sweep as a step down test. So we were at the top of the observation tower looking back onto the outer loop trail. This is a sustained sweep in turbo. I did not put my gloves on so that I can report on felt heat, which is not bad at all right now. And we're just going to sweep back and forth and look at step down in turbo. So about a minute. There is definitely heat but not uncomfortable.
This one's maybe not a good one. I like this. It's not really.
Heat is remaining fairly constant as we get close to 2 minutes.
I just like the weight. It's very subtle. But the piano they're playing on is sort of the same style as the ragtime's classic piano. It's kind of like it sounds really fluffy and low. It's like a bit flat on all the notes. And it's just a distinct sound. You can just hear it right away. They're kind of weird lyrics for modern.
I'm going to let it run a little over 3, and then we'll shut this test down. I'd have to say heat regulation is fairly good. I thought my hand would be cooking by now, but it isn't. Still have a reasonable light output. All right, a couple more tests and we'll call it an evening. So I've got some good news. Our suspicious person tried to double back along the outer loop trail, ran into another officer. He's going down. So that's a good ending to that story. Here's a quick view in moonlight. Thought you might like that. Most people would say this is a bit much for moonlight, but very extremely close quarters or getting down close to the ground and tracking. I'm actually kind of digging this. All right, just when I thought it was going to be an easy night, my partner and I came around this corner, saw 2 people standing right over at the corner of that railing, put light on them. Looks like they were doing a handoff. I'm in high output level right now. They saw us and they took off in that direction towards the parking lot. Of course, I'm a 30-year vet. My partner's a rook. I don't chase anything. That's why we have rookies and dogs. So he's in the chase. We have backup in the parking lot already. So I'm just going to do one 360 here in high output and then finish up over here at an area that I normally do a lot of wrap ups, a good 55 plus yards line of sight. So I had some fun tonight. I hope you did too. I think my fundamental philosophy is still unchanged. You can go to the manufacturer's website. You can read up on all the features, maybe even take in 1 or 2 reviews. You can get all the flashaholic techno info you want. You can look at the UI and try to match that to how you would carry and deploy and use the light. And if you get past all of that and there are no showstoppers, then really it should come down to how does the light perform in realistic circumstances out in the field. And as we continue looking in high output, I hope you got a good answer to that question. I don't recommend lights, brands, etc. I'm just the guy who runs the test. You make the decision. If you need to see something else to make that decision, then by all means leave a comment. I'll see what I can do. Unfortunately, I'm still running 1 to 2 months behind this year, so maybe it would be better for me to just shut up. And on that happy note, as always, until the next review, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching the video.